We have a motto in the Academy, and that's also very relevant for this. And the motto says actually the following things. It says, leadership in thoughts that lead to action.
Is the true leader is a person that never thinks about wealth, never thinks about fame, and never thinks about power.
What is the task of the Academy?
And it's important for leaders not only to understand their own perspectives of identity, demand, and expectation, but for the followers as well.
The qualities of leadership and the processes of leadership that we need today, and how are we going to develop people who are capable of it?
We need leaders that are with a healthy personality.
A true leader should have a comprehensive vision.
Disruptive leadership is a leadership which is disrupting disruptive events.
The main goal of leadership and the main purpose of leadership is uncorking the future.
The pivotal challenge of spirituality, what is it? How on earth can we as human beings get reconciled with nature again if we are not able to live in harmony with ourselves first?
Global problems and global issues need a global leadership.
Populists, the charismatic leader, believe that they are having a special connection with the people.
One of the characteristics is invariably, whether it's a company, a country, or an individual, intense aspiration.
So passion makes leaders go through failure without losing their final goal.
Effective leadership requires the willingness and ability to draw upon our head, our intellect, our cognitive intelligence, but also our heart.
Values are the source of inspiration for a leader. And if he feels inspired, he can inspire others.
Society that involves no claiming for values is static. It is just a bunch of sheep being led to the slaughter.
An old joke, when the patient comes to see the doctor and he says, oh, look, wherever I touch with my finger, my body, it aches. And the doctor examines the patient and says, well, come on, but you have a broken finger.
Sometimes in Italy they show, some film of Mussolini. Nowadays, somebody is saying, oh, this is a comic movie. Look at this guy. It's too stereotyped. It's not believable. He's an imitation of Mussolini. No, it's the real thing. Mussolini really was acting like this funny monkey, jumping up and down. And the Italian people had orders, women and men. Our Duce, our leader.
These limits are actually an asset in terms of leadership.
Big changes are coming only after big calamities.
Spiritual entrepreneurship, question mark, in essence, it's about self-realization.
No leader accomplishes only on his own.
An effective leader is not into big egos.
But actually, all of us can be visionaries, passionate, and perseverant.
English is ambiguous. It refers to we each are individuals in the sense we're a single person. That's an individual. But by individual we also mean, and I think more centrally, we mean somebody who has developed their own way of thinking and acting. Somebody who's not just a rubber stamp of the society, not just conforming with the society, but somebody who's thinking for themselves, who's adapted their own values, who's internalized the truths of history, and acts out of deep conviction in what they're doing, not just in order to gain social acceptance. We're really talking about leaders who are individuals, not leaders who are just popular and get people to follow them down or off the end of the cliff. The other word is very important, and that word was accomplishment.
Emotional intelligence is an impulse driver of the leader's emotional state in social process, and emotional intelligence will probably be a key to a deeper understanding of the leader's relationship to his follower.
Gorbachev once said a wonderful thing that in politics, a leader sometimes had to do the right things and lose. That's what Gorbachev did. He could have gone and compromised. Actually, if he didn't start that, he could have easily stayed for the next 10, 15 years or maybe until now the General Secretary of the Soviet Union. He could have continued that. But he saw and heard the footsteps of history of the future. So, in my judgment, he stood the power test. When he was asked about the reunification of Germany, his main answer to that, it is an achievement of German people.
How do leaders make effective decisions? Strategic thinking. Second is strategic intent. An open mind, musician Frank Zappa, who said that a human mind is like a parachute. It works only when it's open. The ability to contextualize in time and space. The ability to pause, to formulate hypotheses, to create different scenarios in his own, her own mind.
By doing essentially what they're preaching, you can readily share and inspire others if you yourself really act according to the values which you are preaching.
And in imitation, transmutation is as pivotal as the outer transformation.
Can we educate people and also leaders to become more effective, more empathic, more able to listen?
We need entrepreneurial ecosystems to find new solutions and break the paradigms, and all the constituents and stakeholders of society need to work together as an ecosystem.
But scientists are true leaders.
And international organizations, I suggest, should take over and could take over as leaders in this process. And this is what international organizations are doing now, in my opinion. They are managing issues. They are not leading, unfortunately.
Ideas can also be leaders. A leader doesn't need to be necessarily an individual only.
And man, we'll be better off if we can predict the problems before they happen, because we can think through solutions, in anticipation of what occurs there. So I want to stress the importance of problem prediction for leadership.
But if we open up our minds, if we are more conscious, then we see new possibilities. We find new paths, we open to new potential, and we can create paradigm shifts.
The academy accomplished a major paradigm change.
Management is about doing the things right. Leadership is about doing the right things. But spiritual leadership is about doing the right things right.